This is Neil Schneider from Mint to be seen at CES 2018. I'm at the WorldViz suite, and joining us is Matthias Pusch. He's the Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing for WorldViz. Welcome to the program.
Hi Neil, good meeting you.
So what have we got on display here?
We'll be showing off an initial version of the VizBox, which is an integrated system that allows to just be shipped somewhere and then have a virtual meeting with someone. And the setup we have here is showing 3 VizBoxes that are connected all with Santa Barbara. So we're actually giving presentations to prospective clients and partners that can just hop into the VizBox and basically put an HMD on and get a presentation from some of our experts in Santa Barbara.
Now, why would people use this technology? Why is this important?
Well, it saves some of our folks from the company to fly out to Vegas, first of all, so they can do the presentations with VIP customers directly from their sales office. And secondly, when you are in a presentation, you can experience the space or spatial arrangements, or actually understand a message that is about geometry or layout or products in a way that is very intuitive, because the product's right in front of you, effectively.
Okay, so well, let's talk about what we've got here. We've got, obviously, it looks like you've got a laptop computer here. What's connected?
The box is integrated with laptop computer. Currently, we're using the Oculus CV1 as an integrated system in conjunction with 2 of the cameras that are integrated in the box. And you pretty much take this box out, you plug it in, you open it up, and you are going, in terms of being in a virtual reality meeting, which then can be used in order to connect around the world. Like, just as an example, I had a customer down in Shanghai. The sales rep for the customer was in Tennessee. The tech guy who actually was supporting that customer was in Taiwan, in Taipei. And we had 2 guys from WorldViz. And that's like the meetings that you now can have, where you have a functional meeting about a virtual reality environment that allows you to actually communicate things that otherwise you would have to fly to the same place for.
Okay, so let's map this out. So we've got the computer, we've got a head-mounted display. So in this case, you're using an Oculus Rift, but I take it will work with other solutions as well?
It works with the Vive, with the Rift. It works with pretty much other high-end solutions as well. We're currently not shooting for the phone-based devices, simply because optimization for a lot of our high-end customers is too tedious and too much work, too much money. But for the high-end platforms, we are going to support all of it, basically.
And then, so these are the hardware. I don't know if you want to call them partners, but it's compatible with them. And then what's WorldViz's role in this?
Well, WorldViz provides the visible platform, which is effectively the glue that makes these virtual reality meetings possible. And it's a subscription basis platform that is actually still in a very late beta right now, and it's going to be a gated release at around the end of January, where we basically have individual larger companies coming in. And that platform allows you to plug and play together, like what we're doing here right now at the Intel Capital Suite, just to literally just hook up HMDs and spend like an hour together in virtual reality with experts from around the world.
So in this virtual reality environment, I mean, I think it's really about collaboration and communication. That's what it comes down to. So what kinds of things can you show off in this environment? So let's say you're a salesperson. This is actually, your career is in sales and marketing. How would you use this to sell me on something?
Well, it really depends. For me as a salesperson, when I sell, I try to first understand what your use case of virtual reality would look like, right? So the first thing in virtual reality
let's rewind just a bit. Let's forget the virtual reality for a moment. I'm your client. You're going to use this technology. How would you use this technology to sell me a product? Not the product, but you follow what I mean. Look, whatever product you sell, speaking generically.
Selling, like in this case, that's a company selling tools, like power tools. So in this case, you can like literally see it. Like, so I can use this technology in order to bring the product I want to sell right into the room with me and my client. And now my client and me, that's the specialty about it, can be in different locations. Nevertheless, perceived we are in the same room, and in that same room we have that object that someone wants to sell. right in front of us. And now not only can I show the client the object and potential configurations, but now I can also convey the message about why my object is better than someone else's object, simply by, in the virtual reality, showing how it maybe disassembles in a different way, or how it has different ways of processing data, or whatever I want to show. I can make that geometrically visible in virtual reality so the client immediately understands what I want to tell him, basically.
So there's some exciting stuff happening here. So first off, you've got the virtual reality environment, and people could simulate or emulate what the real world is like. Like you demonstrate products. That's what I'm hearing. And more than this, I take it it's got a means to communicate over large distances. So you could have clients in all over the world, and they're still being able to share the experience. Am I right?
Yeah, completely right. And I have to say, for me, in a way, I'm our own customer right now, because I now have a young daughter at home. I don't want to travel anymore that much. And I'm actually literally, the first question to our customers right now is, do you have an Oculus or Vive setup that you can play computer games on? And if the answer is yes, then my next question is, do you have time to schedule a half an hour? I send you a link, let's meet in virtual reality. And so I can do the pitch about what we are able to do for these customers directly in the medium that they're likely going to use for what we're going to do for them.
Okay, good stuff. Now, we talked about power tools and so on, and actually simulating objects, and I saw there's different environments in there as well. So you could, I guess you could custom create different environments too. What about, normally when in business we use tools like PowerPoint and other presentation tools. How would that be handled in a scenario like this?
Like PowerPoints directly import into that platform, so we literally can just load them up and use them the same way we use geometry kind of objects. Like I can literally just load that power tool, and I can load the PowerPoint that describes of what it is and how it's going to be used. And we can load up obviously all different file formats. We can load up graphics, like different graphic formats like PowerPoint, PDFs, different video formats, 360 video, which is an interesting one because you can now actually record a whole scene in 360 and you can load it up and immerse yourself and the client into that scene. And you can also import like 3D scans of things. Like there's all kinds of options of things that you import. And by the way, importing is done as drag and drop. You just literally grab the pieces and drag them together in something that looks almost like PowerPoint.
Very cool, very cool. Now, usually there's two types of meetings. There's the one-to-one meeting where you shake hands and you get to talk to each other. And then there's the other meeting where you're one presenter speaking to could be a large group of people. How many people could share in an experience like this?
It is a really good question. So we had that a whole bunch of times already. So in theory, the platform is laid out to handle about 300 to 400 people right now. However, the honest truth is I've mostly used it myself with less than 10 people right now. And that is simply because when you have all these guys in there and you want to really show them something, you kind of not need to keep an eye on them, what they do, because they're all in there with their hands and they can all move things around. So it's almost like a bunch of people, like almost like a classroom of people, and some of them are naughty and they don't want to listen and they just do stuff that you didn't tell them. So you have to kind of really make sure that everybody stays on message. And if you have more than 10 people, then I guess you could do that too, but you would have to restrict the capabilities of what they can do, which would be more boring for them. So in our experience right now, the smaller groups are more efficient in that virtual reality meeting tool.
One more question for you. This requires the sending in of virtual reality equipment, partially at the receiving end as well. How do you handle a scenario where the person at the other end doesn't have virtual reality equipment? Are they able to share in the experience somehow?
It also works as basically just a client on a screen. So there is also a screen-based version of it. So someone with just a laptop computer can share into the experience. However, that's not as effective because then you don't get the same kind of look and feel of, you're not feeling you're really part of it. And then the other way of doing it is you just ship them a system. Like the WorldViz box is really meant to be just shipped with FedEx over to the client that doesn't have a system, and they plug them into power and they participate at the meeting, basically.
Good stuff. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for coming here.
This is Neil Schneider for MTBS-TV at CES 2018. We will, of course, be back with more. Thank you for watching.